Maybe it's race morning. Pulling out the camera now. I just got to where the race actually is. Camera's also about to die, so I'm super prepared. But yeah, happy Sunday, people. It is Sunday, the day post half marathon. 1:27:32 was the watch time. The race was a little bit longer, so the chip time is like 1:28. We're taking the Garmin 1:17. But it went well. We didn't go under 25, but that's fine. We have like an hour and 15-minute easy ride and then a swim. So I'm gonna do the ride. I'm gonna go to the grocery store, kind of do my Sunday shenanigans, laundry, and then I'm gonna swim. Unless I feel, like right now I feel fine, my legs are just sore. So if the workout today was to go run, I wouldn't run. But easy ride, and then I'll gauge it from there. So the swim could still be up in the air. But it's just a generally chillish swim, so I'll probably still do it, unless I feel too fatigued when I'm on the bike. But yeah, and then I'm gonna do a race recap for the half marathon. Try to make it not like 5 hours long. Try to keep it like 30 minutes. So we're gonna try to keep this video short, but it'll be a race recap for the half marathon. But like I said, we're doing the ride and swim in just typical Sunday shenanigans. Alright, we just got back from the bike. I'm tired. I'm probably most likely not gonna go swim. So I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I need to eat. I don't have any food here though, so I need to go to the store first. I don't think I'm gonna swim. I'm pretty tired. More so just like my legs are sore. So like the bike didn't feel bad. The beginning felt like decent. But my legs were sore, so I was like, but I didn't feel bad. And then kind of as it went on, I was just like, So I'm not really gonna go try to force a swim. I think the better thing to do is just gonna be to rest and to eat. So that's what I'm gonna do. Stay off my feet. That rhymed. And then I'll do the race recap when I get home from the grocery store, when I have some food in me. Because right now I'm tired. I also need to shave my little face. Need to get a haircut here soon too. Okay, so little race recap for the half marathon yesterday. So we're not gonna be swimming today. I've come to that conclusion for myself. I did the bike and then kind of just felt more and more tired as the ride went on, and then the plan will be, because tomorrow is just a recovery swim, so essentially instead of trying to force a swim today and have it almost undoubtedly be like a shitty swim, I will just do a bigger swim tomorrow. Whether that's I do the swim for today, like I could do the warm-up, do the swim for today's main set, and then I could do the recovery set of tomorrow's swim and then do the cool down. Whatever. Like I might end up doing that for tomorrow for the swim, but we'll see, gauge it on how I feel. But race recap from yesterday. Garmin says my official time was 1:27:32. Race official time was like 1:28, but it was longer than 13.1. It's at 13.2. So we're going with the Garmin, 1:27:32. It was a hot, humid day. It was more humid than it was hot. But I knew that we all knew that was the case. We knew that was going to be the case. Going into it, waking up that morning, I slept like the night before. I slept good until I didn't. So I went to bed around like 8 o'clock. I took NyQuil, and then I slept till like 11:30, and then I woke up, and then I just couldn't really sleep for like a few hours. And then at some point again, I fell asleep, and then I woke up. So overall, I slept like 7.5 hours is what my watch said, but the score itself was low, whatever the score was, I don't remember, and then it was alright, but I wouldn't complain about it like the night before a race, because usually it's always kind of, the night before my marathon, I slept like ass. I kind of shot myself in the foot there, because I went to bed late and I just did not sleep good, but I don't even really remember Jacksonville. I think I slept all right. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah. So slept good enough going into it, and then woke up. I had my coffee, black coffee, and then I had electrolytes, had creatine, but then the thing I did differently was I took sodium bicarbonate in the form of baking soda. I only took half a teaspoon, which was like 2 or 3 grams when I weighed it out. It said you take it like the amount you take is in relation to your body weight. It said someone that's like 170 pounds should take, it was like 14 to something like 15 or 18 grams. I was like, that sounds like a lot. And then people talk a lot about stomach issues with it. I'm like, yeah, that's a fuck ton of sodium to take in one sitting. Because one serving was like 100 something milligrams of sodium. With what I took was like 600, which isn't a lot for like what I would typically take, especially in one sitting. But I feel like if you have stomach issues from it, it's probably just because of all the sodium, is what my thought was. I don't really know. But I only took like 3 to 4 grams, 2 to 4, 3 to 4, I don't remember, grams of it. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it's supposed to help buffer lactate. So essentially, you can push harder for longer before lactate builds up. I feel like it worked. Like, I feel like that worked in the race because my average heart rate for the whole thing was 180. And I never really felt, towards the end, I started to feel that lactic acid buildup, but it never seemed like anything super duper crazy. I feel like the thing that held me back the most, obviously the heat, and there were points when I felt like my head was going to explode, but it was just more so my breathing. You feel that in your chest and kind of your throat. Like, I feel like that was one of the hardest, one of the biggest limiting factors was just my breathing. But the lactic acid never seemed to be like overwhelming. So I do feel like that sodium bicarb works. And there's a bar called bicarb. Probably works. So I'm definitely going to be doing that again in the future before probably any race. More so with ones that are like, you're pushing your heart rate really high, pushing that upper limit, that threshold. Like, I feel like during an Ironman, I'm like, would that even be useful? It's kind of what I was thinking about. Maybe towards the end of the marathon, but usually towards the end of the marathon, your heart rate's not even that high, and you're just trying to turn your legs over. It's not even really, like, the limiting factor is not, I'm pushing 180 BPM. It's usually just you're fucking tired, you're spent. But maybe when you get better, like, when you get really good at it and you can push like that, then maybe something like that would be useful. But honestly, I feel like during an Ironman, I'm like, I probably wouldn't really do that much. But anyways, yeah, the course itself was pretty flat. Slightly, it was kind of downhill. It was 4 loops, but it was basically an out and back loop. So you went out, there's a cone, you turn around that cone, turn back, and that was 1 loop. So basically on the way out, it was more so slightly downhill at the start, and then you hit the section where it's sand, and it was a pretty long section of sand, like pretty long. It wasn't like super deep. There were sections where it was like if you ran in it, you would 100% be slowing down like a lot. But if you ran on the outsides, it was kind of just still kind of firm. But at the end of the day, it was sand. So that definitely played a role, and I would watch my heart rate and my pace. My pace would slower, my heart rate would raise in certain sections of the sand. So I was like, well, that plays a role. So we removed the sand. There would have been a faster time for sure. And then on the way back, you hit the slight uphill, like very, very subtle, but it was there in certain sections. The overall elevation was more than 100, less than 200. I don't know what it was, but it's not like a shit ton. It wasn't a lot. But yeah, it was a good bit of shade, thank God, because if it wasn't in the shade, it would have been a really hard run. Especially on the last, like for the 3rd and 4th lap, the sections you are in the sun, you're like, holy cow. Um, but basically started out at a 6:30 and then kind of slowly built down from there to where on the third lap. The third lap should have been the last lap, feeling wise. And then the fourth lap, I was basically just hanging on for dear life. But I basically just slowly blew up on lap 3. And then I knew, like, because lap 3 would have been the perfect ender because I had just enough to where if I was coming to the finish line, like, I could have really turned it on still. But I was like, I still have a whole nother lap, which is 3, 6, 9, 12. Like 3 miles and some change is a lap. So I knew I still had a whole nother lap, so I was like, you can't send it. And then I was like, I know I don't have enough energy to push a 6:30 for these next 3 and some change miles. And by the end of the third lap, I was probably moving up to that higher 6:40s, kind of hitting in the 6:40s. First 2 laps, I would say the average pace was, well, I was running with a buddy. His average pace for what we were was 6:30. He ended up dropping out, but he was sick. But, and then the third lap was where, probably on the way back, was when I started to slow a little bit. And then the fourth lap, I think I had 2 miles. The last 2 miles were like 7:10 or 7:20 or something. Like it went 7:10, then 7:20. And then that last little section was where I was able to drop it back down to like something in the 6s. But it was basically just kind of blew up on lap 3, and then lap 4 was like, you only have a couple miles left. You're already this far in it, like you're already digging deep as shit. You can't give up now. I wanted to walk so bad. So badly did I want to stop, but I also so badly wanted to win. Not win the overall. To be honest, going into the race, I thought I was going to win it anyways because it was a super small race. There was like, I think overall there were like 80 some people, but all those people weren't running. I saw 80 people online. Were there 80 people there? I don't know. But all those people were not running the race. The people that were actually running the half marathon was less than 10. 10 max, but like less than 10 probably. So, to be honest, I was like, I'll probably win it anyways. Which was fun going into it, but it's like a win's a win. Like that's cool, but it's not super rewarding. Like I won. Like if there was a bunch of kids there my age that were all, or just that were, if there was a bunch of people there that were actually competitive and I won, like that would be way cooler. But this was just like cool, I won, but it doesn't mean anything. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But yeah, so lap 1 and 2 I felt controlled. Lap 3 I was like, this should be the last lap with the way I feel, but I knew I still had one more, so it was hard. I still felt like slightly in control because I had enough energy, again, if like that was the last lap to where I could really put it on, but I knew I still had a whole nother lap, so like I sort of felt in control very slightly, but for the most part I was like, knowing I have another lap, I'm like, I'm kind of fucked here. This is going to be, I was like, this is going to hurt because it already hurts. So then turning around for lap 4, I was like, one more. And then, yeah, that's when you're just like, it's going to hurt. So then you just kind of start rooting yourself on, like, verbally, audibly. I'm like, let's go, let's fucking go. I was like, come on, pussy, let's go, pussy. I was like, it's just pain, baby. I said that like one time, but it does kind of help to be like, it's just pain, because it's just pain. And you know that literally right when you stop, it pretty much goes away. Like, when I cross the finish line, you're like, holy crap, and you're still kind of hurting, or you're still like suffering, but almost immediately once you stop, it feels better. All right, I'm back. But also Garmin or Strava says this was my second fastest half marathon. I presume my fastest, quote unquote, fastest half marathon was when I was training for my first sub 3 hour marathon, which is going into that New York one in Long Island. So I assume it was sometime during then, because I would say I was pretty fit. Had some solid long runs and stuff during that session, or during that little training block or whatever. But I still think right now I'm probably more fit, just given the circumstances with the heat and humidity, or more heat acclimated. And then just coming right off Jacksonville, took a week off, and then that second week was still, I don't remember, I still trained, but you know, and then with the heat, I was feeling very unfit. So it all came together pretty well. It's coming into this race, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, that's the race. I don't really know, I don't remember what the hell I said, but that was the race. I'm happy about it. I built confidence, being intentional. I was intentional with that race. I wasn't doing it just to do it. I wasn't doing it just to post it on social media. I was doing it to put some confidence in this noggin. And I did that, so I'm happy about that. Got the International Distance Triathlon in 2 weeks. It is, I know it's a 20-mile bike. I know it's a 6-mile run. I don't remember how long the swim is, but I'll figure that out eventually. But we're going to do the exact same thing there. I'm going to go out there. It's going to rip shit. Probably going to win it. I'm not going to win it, but the goal with that is just to get on the podium, probably, to be honest. Or that's not the goal, but honest, I think I will. The last time I did a Fort DeSoto triathlon, I got second overall. I'm definitely way more fit than I was then. And typically the people that show out there is like a bunch of older people. Not really a lot of young guns like myself. So kind of hoping I'll win it. In my head, I'm kind of going for a win, but we'll see. If not, definitely on the podium for sure. But again, just go out there, tear it up, have some fun, and try to get a win. Try to get another win. But yeah, time-wise for that, I have no fucking clue. I don't know what people... It's not an Olympic distance, so I don't know like what a good time for that is, and I don't really care, to be completely honest. I'm just gonna, again, go out there and tear it up, and whatever time I get is cool. That's kind of the fun thing about trying to race, is like you don't really care about the time, you just care about where you land. Obviously, time somewhat matters. Like, if you want to go win a race and the time people are running to win is 2 hours, and you're not capable of that, then obviously you're not going to win. But if you're capable of whatever, and you're like, I'm just going to go out there and win, then the time doesn't really matter. So in my head, I'm like, I don't really give a shit what my time is for that, because it's a meaningless, the distance is kind of like stupid, because it's not an Olympic distance, and then it's like, where else are you going to do a distance triathlon of those lengths? So time is kind of useless there. I just want to go and try to win, really, to be honest. So yeah, that'll be fun. And then just know I kind of gave it my all again. Same thing with this half marathon. I just ripped shit. 180 average heart rate the whole time. Just bounce it off red limiter. So yeah, it's gonna keep showing up. And Daily Doodle I haven't wrote the Daily Doodle yet for today, but one of them, I haven't actually wrote it. It's just in my computer, so it could be a future one. I did write it. I did write this one. No one really cares, and that's a good thing. Nobody really cares. So there's a lot of ways I'm thinking about that right now, and I'm like, no one really gives a shit. And once you realize that no one really gives a shit, it's kind of freeing. And it's kind of like, it also removes this, like, especially with social media, and kind of recently, you think a lot of people care, and they're people that you follow and whatever, you think a lot of people care about stuff, but they don't. It's more so just like it's like a social transaction of like, it's good to follow people on social media, it's good to comment on other people's stuff because it's good for your algorithm, is what they say. So I was kind of being naive a little bit, I think, and just kind of being, I guess, a little bit naive. Like, I don't know, people just don't really care, and that's fine. We're all wrapped up in our own lives. We all got our own stuff going on. Everyone's busy with their own life, but people don't really care that much. So that's also just kind of like a nice thought of like, no one really cares. No one really cares. So I shouldn't say nobody really cares, but sometimes it surely feels that way. But certain things, like, they just don't really care that much. So that's my race recap. It's Sunday. I'm gonna get this video out today. So I'm gonna end this I'm gonna plug it into my computer and I'm gonna upload it. And I'm gonna go to the gym, stretch, and get a fucking pump. Have a great day. Get better today.